never fails. I'm always nervous. I'm always nervous. How does it feel to have a microphone but not performing?
You know, anytime I grab
let's make it happen.
I'm about to beat off your energy. I'm tripping right now. Because people don't really understand. Like, sometimes I still don't even understand like just who I have in front of me right now. Even just being able to pick up the phone and call you, you always look out for me. You know, any question that I have, you always you know, we just gonna get right into it.
Let's make it happen.
Whew, there's not enough words for me to describe the gentleman that I have in front of me. Successful rapper. Alright, one of the smartest men that I know when it comes to being financially literate, when it comes to the real estate game, when it comes to being a father, when it comes to being a husband. Like, this dude has been one of my heroes since I was like 9, 10 years old. Calling him an uncle is an understatement. You know, he's Grammy nominated, yo. He was Grammy nominated. If Kanye was here right now, I gotta fight him because I'm snatching the Grammy that my uncle should have got. Okay? I said it once, I'm gonna say it. Hey, Verbal Threat, one of the hardest groups out there. Wu-Tang, I'm sorry, y'all gonna have to move aside a little bit, man. I'm nervous. We're gonna put our hands together for my Uncle Dave, also known as MC Reppond.
Great to be here.
Thank you for doing
being here, sir.
This is fun.
Let's do it.
I really don't even know where to begin. I really don't know where to begin. So we're gonna start from the beginning, since I was a little kid trying to, you know, beg my Auntie Princess to jump in the car to go on y'all dates and stuff like that. Like, this is back in the day.
Yes, sir.
What got you into music? When did you know that that's what you wanted to do, and not just do it, but be dope at it?
You know, in 1992, I moved out to L.A. I'm from Santa Ana, California. I moved out to L.A.
Santa Ana zone.
And I met my boy Lee Tron from Inglewood, my boy Cool Sphere from Queens, New York. And what was funny is I was walking down, we were going to school out there. I had dislocated my shoulder, and I played baseball, and so I was in LA, so-called rehabilitated my shoulder, and I was walking by Steve, Cool Sphere, and I was rapping a Brand Nubian verse, and he finished the sentence.
Oh, that's tight.
And I'm like, oh, you up on Brand Noobs? He was like, yeah, I'm from Queens, New York. I'm like, word. So, long story short, my boy Lee Tron was the one who kind of brought us together, and we all shared a common love for hip-hop and Gangstar. That was the #1 group that we all grew up listening to, is Gangstar. And so from then on, we formed the group Verbal Threat, and we've been rocking with each other since 1992. And, you know, MCing for me,
I was 3.
Yeah. You know, MCing for me was just something I was always good at. I was always good with writing. I used to write, like, you know, poems back in the day, but I started doing it early 90s, and I just never put the pen down, you know.
The new track.
Yes, sir.
We
Fashionably Late.
Fire.
Thank you, sir.
I noticed with that beat, that beat is more like my tempo, because it's slower and it's kind of dark.
Yeah.
But it's like it makes you have one of those faces, like, you know, when you just hear a beat and you're like, ooh.
Yes,
like,
sir.
What made you how did you, I can't even ask the question. I'm too excited. Beat selection. Why that beat? Because I love that beat. I love that style.
Sphere and I have a similar taste, but he played me this one beat over the internet, and I was like, I like that one. And he happened to already work with the producer before, and so I said, hit him up and let him know that beat's ours.
Yeah,
And
that
the-
beat's
and-
crazy.
And the rest was history. He sent me the beat and we jumped on it. Fashionably Late. Go check it out.
Yeah,
on all
please.
platforms.
It's on my Instagram. It's on there. I
Yes,
posted it
sir.
on there. I made a video to it.
Yes, sir.
That beat is insane. It kind of
Thank you.
it gave me the same feel as the anthem.
Nice.
Like the anthem,
Nice.
like that would literally be like my. If I was a wrestler, that would be my entrance music.
Hey.
That one to this day, it gives me goosebumps.
Big
Get
up,
your hands
big
up.
up to Todd who did that track. My boy Todd from Michigan.
All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When did one of the most legendary influencers, DJ Premier,
Wow.
when did he come in the picture?
2000, it was either 2000 or 2001. We had a show at the Viper Room, and we were opening it up for Pharrell.
Oh, that's big.
And we just so happened we're doing a song that DJ Premier did for a group called Group Home, and we were rocking over one of his tracks. And right before we went on stage, my boy hit me up. He was like, Premier's here. And I'm like, where? And Premier was in the back. Now, if you've ever been to Viper Room's an intimate setting. So it was DJ Premier, Everlast from House of Pain was there, and we were opening up for Pharrell. And we rocked that beat, boy. And Premier he loved it. He loved it. My boy was saying that he was bugging out on us on stage. He was like, yo, you guys did your thing. And so from then on, we always kept in our mind, we got to work with Premier. We got to work with Premier. And we just kept putting that energy out. And we did a show at the House of Blues. We were talking about this earlier, and we sold it out.
First group to sell it out. I meant to say that too. First group to sell
Yes,
it out.
sir.
Y'all about to get me started.
So check the coincidence of this. We were in the East Coast. We had went to New York, me and Sphere, and Gangstar was performing in Connecticut. It was about Connecticut and New York, about an hour and a half away. So we drove up to Connecticut. We out there, we fanning out to Gangstar. And then we went to the bouncer. We were like, hey, can we get backstage? We know Premier.
Right. Yep.
And I don't know what happened, but they ended up letting us back. We got back there. There it was, Guru, Premier, and a bunch of the boys was sitting back there. And we were like, Premier, what's up? And they were like, oh, Verbal Threat, what's up?
Let's go.
No, you have no idea. To me, to have my favorite producer recognize us and be like, what's up? Changed everything.
That was my
and he
next
said,
question, too.
I just got done watching the Verbal Threat show you did, because we had sent the VHS tape to one of Sphere's boys to give it to one of Premier's boys give it to Premier. But you never think those things pan out.
Right.
He watched it, and he's like, I just watched the show. And so we were like on cloud nine, and I think it was maybe a couple years later, we ended up negotiating and getting our first track from him. And
Was the first track? Was it Reality Check?
Reality.
Okay,
Check.
so
Yes, sir.
let's go to Reality Check,
Yes,
because
sir.
when I saw who did that track, I had to double check. Like that's not my Verbal Threat. Like that's not mine.
Yes, sir.
And just when clicked it, right? Dun, dun, it started, and then I saw you. I was like, what? I watched it like 10 times in a row. I used to stream it when I would go to sleep just to get the numbers up.
Man.
Like
Thank you.
like this. Oh man, everybody look. So the way that you fanned out is I always fan out. Hey, call it what you want, corny, whatever. He's just doing that because that is people. Yeah, you damn right. Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's hot in here now. I see what you was talking about earlier.
It's them lights.
Reality Check. I checked the views. There's millions of views on there.
Yeah, we're blessed.
People are watching y'all.
Yeah, we're blessed. Yes, sir.
How would you explain the difference between like an American crowd and like a crowd overseas. Because I feel like the crowd overseas, I think they love. People might kill me for saying this, but I think they love hip hop more than we do.
It's true. It's true. You know, unfortunately, hip hop has taken a turn over here in the States. It's become more corporate, so everything's kind of like, you know, everything sounds the same. When we were coming up, nothing sounded the same. You had Ice Cube, you had Tribe Called Quest, you had Wu-Tang, you had Scarface, everything was different, and you prided yourself off being an individual. Today, you have a lot of artists that rap on the same cadence of beat.
Right.
They have the same sort of names. Everything's kind of similar, and so
they even have the same voice.
Right. You can't distinguish who's who. Overseas, they like that raw stuff. They like the old school. They like the golden era hip hop, which we come from.
That was the album. You got an album called The Golden Era.
Yes, yes. And so that's the difference between the overseas fans and the fans in the States. The fans in the States, I should say some of the younger fans in the States tend to gravitate more to the newer style of hip hop, where fans overseas, they like that raw boom bap. You know, they like the versatility of hip hop. They like, the concepts and the lyrics and the stuff that used to keep me and Sphere up at night because we heard a new song that just, we heard a new Wu-Tang song, and now we in the lab all night just writing lyrics. So, it's a little different now. It is what it is. Music evolves, music changes, but those overseas fans they like the old school music a lot more.
I like what they like.
Hey, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of, I like some of the young stuff, but I'm a fan of old school golden era music.
Yeah, I'll still play some Rakim every now and then, or some Chris, some KRS-One.
Yes, sir. Those are the icons.
Would it be wrong of me to say, because I don't like to call you a rapper. You're a hip hop artist to me. Like anybody can rap per se. Like anybody can rap, put words together. Anybody can rhyme. But the way you and Cool Sphere do it, it's an art. Like, I'm not wrong to say that, am I? You're a hip hop artist. Like the way y'all tell a story. I've heard songs to where y'all would have two completely different verses. But when you mesh your third verse together, it makes complete sense. It was like an episode off of Power in 4 minutes. It's crazy. Just that concept. How did y'all come up with that concept? Because that's genius. I hope I explained that right.
No, rapper, I don't really like that name either. MC is what I like. In fact, that's my name, MC Reppond. But Sphere and I have years of just being in the studio writing. And when you write with someone for that long, you build a chemistry. And the particular song that you're talking about is Ransom. And that particular song, we wrote it in mind to tell it like a movie. And the whole idea was to leave the last verse as the plot, where we meshed our verses together and brought the whole climax to the story at the end. But if you listen to the song clearly, when you hear my verse, I'm rapping the same verse,
right? Same
as Sphere, but when we bring it together, it creates a whole new climax. And so we thought that would be dope. We had never seen or heard anybody do anything like that. That's what I was saying.
That was crazy. It was like it was a puzzle. Yeah. Because when you really listen to it, because sometimes like when I'm listening to the bars, I don't hear the beat because I'm too focused on what's going on. And I was sitting there, like, when verse 2 came, I was like, all right, that doesn't, I'm trying to figure out how it matches the song.
Right.
But when y'all pieced it together, I was like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, till this day, I don't know anybody else that's done that. The closest to rapping like that, for me, would probably be like Joyner Lucas.
I'm a big fan of Joyner. Yes, yes. I know what you're talking about. He did a song, I can't think of the name of it, but he laid out a song where he told it and then retold it, and yeah, he's nice. He's nice.
Yeah, he's like a perspective rapper. Like he did one song with the $100 bill, like the life of $100 bill, and how like just the different hands that it touches and the different stories that people use that money for.
Dope.
Like it's insane.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first break? Like when it got real with the music?
You know, that's a great question. When, I think, to me, it got real that Viper Room show, because that solidified. When we knew we made Premier happy with what we were doing back then, we didn't really care what anybody else thought.
That's hard.
I'm like, my favorite producer, the one who, Gangstar meant everything to us back then, and the fact that Premier, in a sense, co-signed what we were doing on stage, it was a wrap. You know, you could say what you wanted to say. You know, we never were the ones to fit in, to conform to what was going on at the time. So when we got Premier's co-sign, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. At least for me, it was a wrap, and I know Sphere feels the same way. You know, when you look up to a group, to a producer, and you get that first break to perform in front of them, and they give you that sign of well done.
Yeah. The stamp.
Come on, man. I mean,
because I was telling my girl, like, it's DJ Premier. Like,
one of the best to do it.
If you know hip hop, you know DJ Premier. Like, one of my favorite podcasts to listen to, Joe Budden. Watch out for me, my guy. Oh, that's me, right? That's me? Yeah, you, Joe.
Huh.
His producer, Parks. Premier is his favorite. And Parks is dope. Like, when you listen to the music that he's produced, you can hear the influence. It's Premier all over the place.
Premier, man, ain't nobody like him. Nobody like him.
This better get out to y'all, because I already sent y'all a sleeper reality check. I sent it to y'all. Y'all ain't played yet. You know, so when you come to Santa Ana and you want to do a show at the Improv or something, yeah, I'm on y'all. Stay promoting.
Come on.
So that's just one hat that you wear as an MC. You have taught me so much about real estate and just money in general, like how to spend it, what to spend it on. You taught me what an ROI and an ROE meant. You know, like you convinced me to put Monopoly down and play cash flow. You know, I remember all that. What made you dip into that? Is that just like?
It's funny. A good friend of mine in 2007 called me up and was like, "You need to go down to Newport Beach and take a look at what I just saw." And I said, "What did you just see?" He couldn't explain it to me. So I drove down there, and this is the time where I was at the peak of my hip-hop career. You know, we had just been nominated, and I drove down there, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I went up to the third floor, walked into the room, walked to the back, and a gentleman walks to the front of the room, and he said, "There's two type of people in the world, those who pay rent and those who collect it." And he said, "Which one do you want to be?" I said, man, I was all in. 'Cause I had read Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yep. Same.
1999. And I said, if there was anybody that was willing to teach me these principles, I'm all in. You know, music is my passion, but I found my purpose through financial literacy and teaching other people what my mentors in the financial literacy space taught me. So make a long story short, he invited me to an event they were having in Newport Beach. And Mark Kohler was the practitioner that he brought out, who was a tax attorney. And I remember I brought my mom, I brought my godmother, and I brought a couple of my buddies. And we sat down there, and after, I looked over at my mom, looked over at my godmother. I said, "What'd you think?" They were like, "I think this is phenomenal." And I was like, that's what I thought. And so I remember back then it was $20,000 to become part of the educational program, and I didn't have the 20,000. And my godmother was like, "Well, I'll give you half." And I remember I went back to the dude who invited me. I was like, "Look, man, I got 10 G's. What's up? What can we do?" He said, "You're in luck. I got a dude out in Florida. He could be your partner, and you guys can go together as, a partnership." I went. Back then, they used to have the classes out in Arizona. And I remember driving out there thinking, man, what did I just get myself into? I pulled up. It was for a week long. And they had classes from 8 in the morning to 8 at night. And you could take as many classes as possible. And my life has been different ever since that day. I mean, financial literacy is one of those things you can't learn in school. The only way you learn financial education is through the school of hard knocks. And people spend their whole life trying to figure out the game. And, I was blessed to be immersed in it and taught by some of the savviest business owners and real estate investors in the country. And to this day now, we teach and help people get immersed in this education, because once you learn these principles, it organizes how you move. I don't care if you're a comic, if you're an artist, if you're an athlete, if you're a W-2 employee, you must be financially literate. Our biggest expense in life is taxes. So if you call yourself ever going to make money in life, you've got to figure taxes is going to be your biggest expense. So you have to figure out, how do I lower my tax liability to Uncle Sam? If you don't do that, just expect to give half your money to Uncle Sam every single paycheck. So it's these principles that I've learned. I teach it with a lot of colleagues in the country. We're opening up a community out here in South Coast Metro. And yeah, man, I still do my music, but now I had the financial literacy piece. So now I know how to move. When I got into music, in the back of my mind, I thought I was going to learn this on the way. Found out that everybody's just as financially illiterate as me. And so it took me going outside of music to get introduced to a group of people who showed me the game and showed me how to make it all make sense.
Whew, that is goosebumps again.
I mean, I recommend anybody who plans on making money in life to get financially literate, because without financial education, I'm telling you, you'll always be reliant on somebody else to handle your money. And nobody's going to care about your money more than you.
Yeah.
Nobody. So, yeah, that's it.
So I noticed with successful rappers, they're not financially literate.
No.
They get the money today and they spend it in an hour.
Same with the athletes.
How long did it take? Like, cause I know it was like mind blowing when you got there, but how long did it take you to make it like a habit? Cause like saying it is one thing, but then like actually getting out there and doing it and watching it work.
Right.
How long did that take for it to start working? Cause I know you're playing Monopoly in real life. Like you own some stuff.
So I was taught there's 4 currencies. And the 4 currencies are money, knowledge, time, and resources. So time is our greatest asset because we can't get any of it back, no matter how much money we have. We can't get any of our time back. This time that we're spending right now, It's done, you know. But the second most valuable asset is the knowledge. And this is where we get it confused. A lot of us think it's money. A lot of us think, well, if I just got the money, I'd be good. There's an old saying that knowledge and money had a meeting one day. And after the meeting, the man with the knowledge walked away with the money. And the man with the money walked away with the knowledge.
Okay.
People who have money, they don't have the time anymore, nor do they want to spend the time to go out and find other deals. So they're looking for the knowledgeable person that's willing to go put their money and give them a return on their investment. So I was taught, once you get that knowledge piece, now you never have to use any of your money. You use what's called OPM, other people's money.
Yep, something that stuck with me. Yep.
So the key is to get a specialized knowledge, and that specialized knowledge revolves all around financial literacy. Financial literacy has 5 major pillars: taxes, banking, business ownership, real estate investing, and specialized knowledge. Once you get these 5 mastered, now you're able to navigate in ways you never thought before. Now you're able to put deals together, and now the money finds you. See, the philosophy before was, how am I going to get the money to afford this?
That was me.
That's majority of the people. But now if you come with the knowledge piece, which is, how do I put the deal together? How do I get control of the deal? Now, if I have control of this apartment complex and now I'm looking for a buyer, okay, I present the buyer with the contract that I own this, so he wants a piece of it. So now he's willing to give me the money because he knows I control the asset. I control the building.
Right.
So of course he wants to give me the money. He doesn't trust me, he trusts the asset.
Right, right.
So that's what changed the whole perspective and the way I thought, which is, let me stop trading my time for dollars and let me learn how to leverage other people's time for dollars. But first, I got to get the knowledge to be able to do that. And so it's these little nuggets that my mentors taught me that now I look at things different. I don't go into it with the ignorant approach of, I have to only use my money. Look at it this way. There's going to come a time in your life, in your business, that your success is going to outgrow your resources. You're going to need other funds. You're going to need other amounts of money to grow your business and scale it to where you want it to go. So you should already be thinking, how can I leverage other people's money to scale my business? But first, you got to become the expert in what it is that you're doing. You can't leave out that part because, I mean, if you call yourself wanting to be a professional in anything, if you do not master your craft, if you do not learn everything about it, nobody's going to want to give you the money. But once you become proficient and you know your craft and you become financially literate, the money now finds you. Maybe it may seem hard to believe, but that's how it happens. And trust me, even the people with money, they still use other people's money. They don't have to use their money. That's the big difference.
With me being in the comedy scene now, it's almost the same principle because it also sounds like an energy thing. Like if you know what you're talking about and you're confident in what you're saying, that gives off a certain energy that attracts people that want what you have, whether it's knowledge, whether it's money, whether it's the resources. Lately, things have been coming to me because of, I don't know if it's the energy that I'm putting out. I don't know if it's, law of attraction, but I understand what you mean when you say eventually it'll just come to you. But at the same time, you need to master what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Like right now, for me, it's getting surreal. Like I was hanging out with Black Jesus, man.
That's dope.
I was with Slink Johnson.
That's dope.
And that's just because I have the ability to make people laugh. You know,
I give you a lot of respect for going out on the limb and saying, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and why not?
Yeah, that was it.
Why not?
Like I make people laugh anyways. Why not do it on the stage?
Put it together. I'm so proud to see. Me and Princess is your biggest fans. We sit there and Princess is like, look it, Julius got another one. He did another one. I'm like, hey, that's, it reminds me of how Steve and I got started. We just kept doing it. We kept doing it. Nobody's looking. We kept doing it. Nobody's looking. We kept doing it. Oh, wait. Somebody's looking now.
Yeah.
Somebody's looking. And that's what happens. You just keep on going. You keep on going. And you better keep on going.
Yeah, I'm going to keep going. Like, because now I got to the point where, how do I say this correctly? Because it's one of my questions. But I got to the point where I don't care as much about failing, because failing is, at least in comedy, it's impossible for me to fail in comedy. Like that's how I go into everything now. Like it's impossible for me to fail at this because it's a crazy idea for me to even have that crazy idea. When you first started with music, did you ever feel like that? And let me know what it took for you to get over, like, I know I'm dope at this. Like, if they don't like it, it doesn't even matter because I'm still dope at it.
It came a time when Sphere and I were, again, we grew up off the boom bap golden era hip hop, and we were waiting for a group to come along that was gonna give us the same goosebumps that our favorite groups and MCs gave us, and we kept waiting, and we kept waiting, and then you know what? We looked around and was like, it's got to be us. Who are we waiting for?
Yeah.
And we just started doing it. And it's something that feels strange when you start because you're a fan first.
Right.
And then when you become doing it, at the beginning you start to see, like, sometimes you might be a little bit hard on yourself.
Big time.
Because you have standards. But that's good because it keeps you grounded and it keeps you motivated. But then you start seeing and hearing the feedback of people who like what you're doing. And you know what? You start saying, hey, I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
Because they're liking it.
Yeah.
And so you get a little bit more motivation. And then you just get to that point where you're like, you know what? I got this. I really had it, but it's that belief in yourself. Like,
right.
I know I've arrived now. And it's time to just really find your craft and excel at it. And that's what we did. We kept believing. We knew we were nice, but we had a standard.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't want to let ourselves down. So we didn't want to just be MCs that just existed. We always pushed the bar for ourselves. We never compared ourselves to anybody. Our comparison was each other making ourselves better, And you probably, the same thing in comedy is once you start finding out, hey, I'm confident in what I'm doing now. I don't need the feedback from anybody because I'm my biggest critic. And if I can please myself, and that's what Steve and I got to a point where if we like what we're doing and we already know how critical we are, right, then we know we're doing the right thing. If I'm pleased with the finished product, I'm good with that. Because as you know, people are always going to have opinions.
Oh, yeah. I've had some tough crowds.
Yeah, that just comes with the game. But once you get to the point where you're satisfied with what you're doing, you've arrived.
I like that. So right now, my biggest issue, I don't even know if it's an issue, but I feel that I'm at a peak Like there's a glass ceiling right there, and I'm trying to get through it.
Mm-hmm.
How do I get through it?
Stay a student. Stay a student to the craft. Watch the greats. Pick up things that they do. Incorporate your style into it, and keep at it. You've gotta keep practicing. You've gotta do it and do it and do it. You gotta. We call it the 10,000 hours.
Ouch,
You gotta put that 10,000 hours in, and what will happen is you'll start. It'll just come to you, and you'll know. Yeah, this feels right. You'll go off of feel. You won't have to think anymore, and you'll bust through that barrier. Because right now, again, you're loving what you're doing. You're seeing your progression, but you've got to keep studying. When I say study the greats, study what they did when they were at the beginning. Just don't look at them now. If some of your greats are still living, go and look at what they did when they were younger. And that's what we used to do. We just didn't look at what the artists were doing at present time. We went back to when they started. What kept them hungry? What are some of the things that they do? And you steal all of that. Everybody steals from everybody. And that's the thing. You take what you like and you piece together till you build your own product, which is yourself in branding your comedy, which was our MCing. And you study the greats because success leaves clues. And so you can pick up those golden nuggets from people, and then you just incorporate it in what you're doing. And then that takes your craft to the next level, because there's really nothing new. People just take and they incorporate their style and they make it and own it. And now you see the finished product. Like my favorite MCs growing up was Jizza from Wu-Tang, Guru from Gangstar, and Nas. And so I took from those three and I created my own style. But I watched those MCs and studied them MCs so much where I figured out this is how I wanted to sound. This is how I wanted to put out music. And, you know, I stayed a student, and I stayed a student. I'm still a student. I'm still listening to how certain MCs that I like put their bars together, and you take a little piece from there and take a little piece from there, and you make it yours. Same thing in comedy. Study those greats, because all of them have something that give them that edge. And all you do is take some of that and form what you're doing. And then now you start to put your own swag on it, but you're taking a little piece from what, you know, they probably got from somebody else. It's just all these things trickle down, and you just learn how to make it your own. And that's the beauty of art, is that you take from different people and then you give it your own. You make it your own and give it a whole new identity. You know.
That's deep. I like how you said to go back, because there was a set that I did not too long ago. It wasn't a bad set, but the crowd wasn't there. I've had a couple of nights where fire sets, but no crowd participation. Like I can tell a banger of a joke, and and I would go back and watch, and it's like, I don't think I'm gonna do this anymore.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to get out of that. It took me a while to like stop caring.
Don't let that throw you off. We would be doing shows early in our career, and we'd be rocking it, and we would look out, and the crowd would just be like this. And then we just look at them, and they look like, are they feeling it? And then it took us time to realize they're soaking it in. Sometimes when you're clapping or moving too much, you're not listening. And so when you're on stage, you may perceive it as, oh, they ain't feeling it. They're listening. Think about it. When you like something, you kind of get still. You don't move a lot.
Yeah, that's
get
true.
Still, and you kind of want to make sure that you're hearing what you're hearing. And at the beginning, it was hard for us to judge if the people were liking our music, because we look out in the crowd and we'd see a little bit of a head bob. And then I remember my wife was saying, nah, they feeling y'all. They just vibing. They listening. And so we're taking it as they ain't feeling it. But in reality, they sitting there listening like, Okay, I heard that. Yep, yep. And so same thing with the comedy. You may think they're not into it. They may just be, because I'm a type of person, if I listen to a comedian, sometimes I laugh inside, but I'm just looking at you because I'm
Right.
studying you.
Right.
I'm like, who's this dude making me laugh? Now I'm just analyzing who I'm looking at.
Right.
So sometimes it's, perception of the crowd can throw you off, but don't let that discourage you, because you never know what's going on in a person's mind. They may be feeling you to the most, but that's why they staying still. They're like, hold on, this dude got something, So that's funny you brought that up, because we struggle with that at the beginning. We're like, is anybody feeling us? But my wife would be in the crowd like, nah, they were feeling y'all. We were like, man, from the stage you can't tell.
Yeah, serious.
You can't tell,
Serious.
But that's just, you get used to it.
Yo, I'm over it now. I'm like, because I know now, but there'd be times too, like, sometimes I can't hear, I can't hear all the laughter on stage, but when I watch it back, these people are exploding.
Right.
And like, I like what you said about how they're just vibing, like they're actually listening to you. Right. That's how I was when I just watched Chris Rock's Netflix special.
Okay.
I was the same way. I was like, okay, that was good.
Right.
Like, just because they're not laughing doesn't mean it's not funny.
Man.
Like, I felt everything he said. That boy went in.
I haven't seen it yet.
I ran to it.
Okay.
I ran to it. I didn't know he was going to talk about Will and Jada.
Yeah, I've been seeing that going.
He did.
Yeah,
he did. He must have been taking some boxing classes, because he's talking like he ready to fight again. Well, that wasn't even a fight. I hope she didn't text me. Hold on, let me make sure Tina's not standing outside.
She got my keys, so she should be good.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, she unless she got
keys.
lost again. Oops.
Yeah, she can get lost. I mean,
if you were to do a versus, who do you think you would like? Who do you compare yourself to? Like, I don't even like saying compare.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good one.
Cause real quick though, man. Hey, Dave East and Blanco, y'all stole my man's style, man. When I heard it, I was like, yo, I might have sent it to Cool Spirit too. Like, they got something. They sound like y'all. They sound like y'all. It tripped me out. It was scary. There's the verses right there.
Hey, there it is then. There it is. I don't know, I want them to bring verses back. What happened to verses?
The world opened back up.
Yeah,
that's what I think. I think the world opened back up, and people found, they found a reason to get from in front of their screens.
That's true. I love the verses.
I'm waiting for Busta. I'm waiting for Busta Rhymes.
Don't nobody want to see Busta on the
verses. Yeah, I'm waiting for it. He didn't do a verses. He did his album.
Yeah, live with Spliff, him and Spliff.
Yeah, that was dope.
Who do you think would be a good person for Busta and verses?
A lot of people talk about Missy, and I can understand why, because it's around the same time. But yeah, I don't know about that one. But Busta has so many different styles. Like, he can hit you with the slow rap, and he can hit you with the the lyrical miracle, and he can just Eminem you, or maybe Eminem.
You said the person
maybe
who I
Eminem.
think would be good. Now, Eminem can't see Busta when it comes to performing. Busta's number one.
He's the number one performer.
He's the number one.
That boy up there with Cisco.
Yeah. But Eminem and Busta, how they put their words together, that would be a good versus. I would like to see that.
Eminem, that dude is scary, but Busta, man.
Yeah.
That dude, like, even his videos is off the chain.
He's something different.
Oh, boom, with the place to be. Like, what? Yeah. That song's older than me, I want to say. If you really want to party with me, like, that's little kids know that song.
He's one of those MCs that come around once in a lifetime that, his whole style and his timing and you got to give that brother his flowers.
The Conglomerate. That's what it was called. I want to say it was called The Conglomerate.
Yeah, that album. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think when T.I. wanted to? Was that Busta or was it 50 Cent that T.I. was trying to go at?
T.I. wanted to go with against 50. But I think Buster put out a challenge to T.I.
Yeah. He was like, nobody from New York can see me or something like that. Buster was like, excuse you, little boy, I'm here.
Yeah, I don't think that would be a good versus T.I. and I don't want to see T.I. and Buster. I don't think that's a good matchup.
So you would have that Busta Rhymes and Janet Jackson track versus if you want it, you can get it, my dear. You know that one song, I want your body, need your body. Yeah.
For Busta?
Nah, that was from T.I.
For T.I. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it would be that song versus Busta Rhymes and Janet Jackson. I gotta go. That's a weird matchup.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I gotta go Busta though.
Yeah. T.I. Didn't T.I. do one already, right? Or no? He didn't do one?
He did? Who he doing with? Yeah, I forgot too.
T.I. went, or did he do one? Did he do one?
I don't know. Because if you did it, I would remember. I remember all the verses. I remember Jeezy and Gucci.
I don't think T.I. did one yet. He was supposed to do it with somebody, but I don't think it happened. I may be wrong though. I don't know.
Yeah, same. I don't remember it, but
I don't remember it either.
So back to Eminem and Busta Rhymes. Let me see.
I think that would be a hot versus.
Let's see. Eminem and Jay-Z, they did
Renegade.
Okay, so Renegade, Eminem's verse on Renegade versus Busta Rhymes verse in. Should we put it against the one he did with Chris Brown? If you want to get, I gotta go get it. Who got that one? Because I think of so much.
Yeah.
Because there's like, are you listening to this on your headphones or are you listening to this like in the? There's so many aspects like in the club because Renegades, you're not listening to that in the club,
right?
You know, like
Renegade's more of a bar for bar type of vibe. What Busta did on Chris Brown was just style and flavor. Like
that was a lot of sauce on there.
Yeah. He tore that up. Like that's classic. That's classic. People mimic that verse.
Yeah, still. I tried it. I couldn't get it. Yeah. I can get a couple of Twisted and Tech 9 verses, but that one right there, that one was something else. He said, bada, 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 bada.
Yeah. He's different. You know, he's different.
On the way up here, we were listening to a debate about Lil Wayne and Jay-Z.
Okay.
I don't like what they try to do to Lil Wayne. I love Jay-Z. I love Jay-Z because of how grown he is.
Right.
You know, like if you were to rap how you speak about being financially literate, that's Jay-Z.
Yeah.
But I don't like the way they was trying to do Lil Wayne, man. Because Lil Wayne, I mean, he said real G's move in silence like lasagna. Like that's
Lil Wayne to me, because he's been in the game for so long, he to me is the most developed rapper that I've seen in the game. How he came in the game to where he is now, I mean, that brother worked on his craft and he stayed on it. I mean, he came in when he was like, what, 11, 12 with Cash Money?
Yeah, Cash Money, yep.
And to see where he's at now, his bars are so crafty. I mean,
he said, and I will live by this. He said, before they overestimate me, they're going to underrate me. Or how did he say? I don't want to butcher this bar. Before they underrate me, they will underestimate me. Before they overrate me, they're going to underestimate me. I was stuck. I had to turn the song off after that bar. It was on God Did.
Okay.
And that was when Jay-Z spazzed out for
Yeah.
6 minutes.
Lil Wayne did a verse with AZ and the brother from, dang, why am I forgetting? Conway.
Conway's dope.
Yeah, AZ, Conway, and Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne did a verse on on AZ's album. Man, that verse that Lil Wayne did. Listen to that. I don't know if you've heard it.
I'm about to check it out.
Yes,
because he says things. It's like, how did you even? What are you on to put that
witty,
together?
Man. He's witty. I hear he was a like a 4.0 student in school, and that's what a lot of people don't know about MCs. MCs are smart people.
Yeah, rappers.
Method Man smart, Biggie smart, Pac smart, Lil Wayne smart. They're smart people. You got to be witty to be able to put together bars the way they do. And yeah, Lil Wayne he's up there.
Did you watch KRS-One and Big Daddy Kane?
Yes, I did.
Who did you have for that one? Because I was torn.
You know,
I couldn't pick a side.
I've been listening to Kane all my life, and that was the first time I underestimated how good he was live. He's another slept-on live performer. You know, I knew KRS-One and Busta Rhymes were the top two performers, but Big Daddy Kane, after I saw him on Versus, I'm like, if you notice, go back and watch it. His breath control.
That's what I was about to say. It was so seamless. I was like, dude's 50-something.
That's something.
He coasted the whole show.
Yeah. MCs need to study what Big Daddy Kane did on that Versus, because his breath control on that, it's unhuman. I mean, I was really like, this dude is really enunciating every word on stage. I mean, he's again next level rapper.
Yeah, with all that swag when he would just walk off like, all right, Chris, your turn. He just with the hat on. I was like, well, look, man. This
but
dude
those
is
are the
smooth.
best. Those are one of the best to do it. Those two. You know what I mean? It's hard to beat them. If you call yourself an MC, it's gonna be hard to beat KRS-One and Big Daddy Kane.
You know who I got into him recently. I'm a little late on him, but I just got into Big L. I like Big L.
Man.
I like Big L a lot.
Let me tell you something about Big L, man. Big L is one of those MCs. So you know, Big L was the one. He didn't discover Jay, but Jay kind of rode his coattail getting into the game. A lot of people don't know that. Big L is. I studied Big L coming up. His bars, his confidence, the way he put his rhyme patterns together. It's still not a lot of MCs that can hang with what Big L was doing way back then. He's part of the DITC, Digging in the Crates crew with Premier, Fat Joe. Man, Big L, man, that's a lethal MC. Like, he was one of those MCs that you didn't want to battle back in the day. His like I said, his swag, the way he approached MCing. You don't get MCs like that too often. And Big L, like, again, there's very few people that can out rap Big L.
What is that track? He got a track. Put them on, Big L. Put them on. What? Yeah, I was like, this dude is cool. Yeah, so that's what I'm studying right now.
He died too young. I mean, I'd hate to see if he was still living what he'd be doing. Wow.
Ahead of his time.
Way ahead of his time.
So let's fast forward in hip hop. J. Cole or Kendrick?
Who I like more? I like J. Cole.
J. Cole's crazy.
Yeah, and that's taking nothing away from Kendrick, but I like J. Cole.
I think the only reason why J. Cole would edge Kendrick for me is because he only needs one style.
Who?
Not Kendrick, J. Cole.
Yeah.
J. Cole needs one style. Like, yeah, he has his singing moments and stuff like that, but I don't think he's doing full verses singing. Like he has, from what I can tell, he only has really like only 2 different cadences. He has a slow rap to where he wants you to hear what he's saying, but then he has his. I mean, if y'all want to play, we could play. I could speed this up a little bit,
Right.
but it still bar you to death. Like me personally, when him and Tory Lanez was getting into it, Tory Lanez got sunned.
I didn't even hear about that beef.
Yeah, Tory.
Okay.
And Tory can rap. I didn't know he can
Tory
rap.
can
The
rap.
little short singing guy. I didn't know he could rap.
Yeah.
He can really rap. Like I was beyond impressed.
No, Tory can rap. Yeah, Tory can rap. I didn't know he went.
Oh, am I tripping? Hold on, I'm tripping. I'm thinking about Joyner. I'm getting mixed up. Joyner smacked up Tory Lanez when it came to rap.
Oh yeah, I remember that. No, I remember that one.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting
that.
twisted.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
getting
yeah.
twisted.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
that.
Joyner did that.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have compared Joyner and J. Cole, because that one I might be torn. Sorry, Kendrick. Kendrick's hard, but you know.
Joyner and Jay. I need to hear more from Joyner. Joyner's he's for Joyner got bars. But J. Cole's different. He's different. I'd probably still go with J. Cole. I have to hear more from Joyner to change my mind, but I'm going with J. Cole right now.
Yeah, Joyner, he's lyrical miracle. I can rap really fast. I love that. That might be my favorite style of rap.
Okay.
But when I do listen to the slower artists, they're saying something.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, even Drake sometimes that has bars.
Yeah. Yeah.
He'll floss on you with his bars. Like everything is a bar. 6 a.m. in Calabasas or whatever it's called. I suck at title names. I know all the songs and couldn't tell you the names of the song.
Yep.
But yeah, Cole. Did you hear his Watchers remix that he did to Dr. Dre's Watchers? Everywhere that I go, yeah, that was insane. We watched it. We heard it when we watched Creed 3.
Okay. I hear that's a dope movie.
It's cool. I liked it. Okay. It was a little too dramatized for me, but it was a good movie. It was a good movie. It was a good story. I like where they went with it. I like how they kept it out here. They did. It was based out of South Central, so I like that.
Oh, okay.
So Nipsey, he was all over the place, which was that's one of my heroes right there.
Yeah, I know you were the first one to me that was big on Nipsey. I remember that from back in the day.
That's when you did it. You did the security for after he had after he had passed.
Yeah, yeah.
Y'all was deep. Nobody's messing with y'all out there.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Nobody's messing with y'all. Like I didn't. That night made me understand the power.
Yeah.
And the respect that people have for the movement.
Yeah, it's just real.
Nation of Islam.
Yeah.
How did that? Let's get into that.
Man, so I've been a follower of the minister for years. I mean, me and my boy would listen to tapes hours and hours, and I'd just be blown away by the stuff that I was hearing. And I remember there's a brother named Nuri Muhammad. He's very prominent in the nation, and he was doing a podcast. And he said, we're going to take some calls from any of the listeners. And I called in. This was maybe around 6 years ago. And the reason why I called is because I wanted to bring to the nation financial literacy. So I called in and I said, Brother Nuri, this is David, and I want to be able to help with the economic blueprint, because that's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had put forth to the nation years back. And I said, I think I have the solution for the economic blueprint. And he said, brother, I want you to go down to South Central LA, and I want you to go talk to, his name back then was Tony Muhammad. And he said, tell him that I sent you. And so I went down to the mosque, and, I sat in there, and I ended up standing up because I had listened to Tony Muhammad speak, and he said, if you liked what you speak and you want to help us with the cause, please stand up. And I stood up, and I never looked back. And it's funny, fast forward to now, I'm just now starting to implement some of the financial literacy things that I wanted to bring 6 years ago. But when I came in, I was just so overwhelmed with the teachings and, what the nation represented. And I can go on and on of how the nation's changed my life. But yeah, that was, again, I'd been following the minister since the early 2000s, listening to him on cassette tapes. And then, finally, I actually went down to the mosque and sat in on a meeting. And, the rest is history. Now I'm David 15X.
David
David
15X?
15X, yeah. So, and when you come into a mosque, depending on how many people have your name in that mosque, will rank what your number is. So I was the 15th David in Mosque
Got it.
27 in Los Angeles. So 15X, I'm David 15X. And the X is for the unknown. Because when we were taken over here as slaves, we took on the last name of our slave owners. And so all black people who were born in America, they carry the name of their slave owners. And so when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was building up the nation, he no longer wanted black people to have that name, or original people to have that name. So the X represents the unknown, because we don't know who our original fathers is, because, I know they got these DNA tests, but that's not taking it back to where our original people came from. And so David 15X was the name I was given when I came into the mosque.
Julius X.
Yep. Yep.
Julius X now.
Yep. You need to come down with me one day.
Hey, one day. I came down today.
Yep.
I love to learn. I'm always like, I started listening to him. I started listening to I believe his name is Rizza Islam.
Rizza Islam.
I like him.
Yes, sir.
I listened to a gentleman named Bobby Valentine.
Bobby Valentine. Yep. Wow.
That guy, yikes, he hit me hard. He said some powerful stuff about our roots.
Yeah.
And just different auras and energies and how disconnected we really, it was crazy.
Yeah, it's deep, it's heavy, and if you come down, there's so much to learn. You could never exhaust how much information that there is that we haven't been told. And see, that's the thing, is once you start getting knowledge of self, again, you start feeling better about who you are, and it's everything. And you pass that down to your seeds and your children. We're all connected, but we've been separated here in America. The black and brown family, and right now, there's an Asian family that we've connected with in Los Angeles, where when there was a sister that they fired her because she had something to say about, I forget the particular conversation, but they fired her. And so we had Minister Abdul Malik, which is the minister down in Mosque 27, go represent her in LA. And the Asian family came out and supported us in that fight to help get that sister her job back. And then when the situation happened with the Asians not too long ago with that shootout out in LA, we came to their side and we allied with them. And see, that's what the minister is doing. He's bridging all the original people together, because in America we've been separated. Black and brown are actually brothers and sisters. And see, the same dog that bit them bit us. But today, in a lot of the prisons, we fight against each other.
Yeah.
But see, that's because we don't have knowledge of self. We don't know we come from the same heritage. And when you start getting this knowledge, it breaks the barrier that has been put on us for so many years. So it's a beautiful thing.
It's interesting that you said that, because at one point in time, oops, I was outside, oops again. I had got locked up. Oops.
Mm-hmm.
And we got light in there.
Mm-hmm.
Blacks and Asians.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something to that.
Man.
It's interesting.
You know, the minister says it like this. Black is not a color. Black is the essence from which all color comes from.
I say something similar to that. That was deeper than mine, though. Mine is everything starts in the dark. Everything starts in the dark.
That's true.
All I can remember before birth was nothing. Darkness.
Come on.
Stars come out from the dark. You know, when you plant a seed, it's in the dark.
Come on.
When you are a seed, you in the womb, there's no light in that womb.
Right.
Everything starts from the dark. All of this, I'm Julius Brandon now. All of this was an idea. Ideas start in the dark.
Come on.
That's the beauty. That's where the beauty of black comes like to me. That's what makes me proud.
Yeah.
You know, like there's so many things you can do with a black canvas, or even, you know, maybe everything was white. I don't know, but when it comes to the dark was here before the light was.
Absolutely.
We original. We are the originators.
Yep.
We are the trendsetters. You know, everybody want to be us, man. I'm gonna talk it because that's what it is.
Yep. Yep.
I just did a set. I said about little white boys wanted to be little black boys.
Man.
And I killed it. I murdered it.
You know what's interesting now on social media? You're finding a lot of white kids and, you know, going back and doing research about black history and, you know, putting it all on social media. And today is today, you know, truth now is coming to light. So all the lies and stuff that we've heard all our life, all those myths and you know, George Washington never told a lie, and the Indians came and had a feast with the Pilgrims, and all of those things that we grew up in school listening to, they're all being dispelled today.
This is what did it for me. Milk.
Who?
Milk.
Okay.
As far back as I can remember from being a kid, drink your milk. Milk gives you strong bones. Got milk? Nah, I am a 30-plus-year-old man. If I drink milk, I'm down for the day.
And see, have you ever had raw milk?
I never had raw milk. I've had almond milk.
So, are you what they call lactose intolerant?
Yes.
So, I challenge you to go to Sprouts, because Sprouts is the only store in Mothers that I've seen carry it. Go to Sprouts or Mothers and look and get the raw milk. We feed it. We give it to Aaliyah. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the raw milk is the milk that doesn't have what they've put into it that makes us lactose intolerant. If you get and drink the raw milk, you will see that it's night and day. You'll be like, what? Trust me, I ain't gonna even say any more about it. Raw milk.
I'm gonna do that because I was damn near close to wanting to try some breast milk. Shoot, because it's like, how am I lactose intolerant? But that's the first source of nutrients ever.
Right.
There's a bunch of stuff that did not make sense to me. Like, why is it? Like, I don't know.
It's a lot.
It's too much. It be making me mad because it's like, what else is not true? You know, like I'm on the path to not eating meat anymore.
Come on, I've been a vegetarian for what? I think it's going on 12 or 13 years, something like that. Yeah.
I kind of remember when y'all first started.
Yeah, everybody thought we were crazy.
Yep. And I was just like,
yeah.
I didn't understand. Like as a kid, like I didn't understand why people thought that was crazy.
Because
like, you do everything else.
Yeah, you grow up eating meat. Meat is, right. I mean, I loved meat. Don't get me wrong. I loved meat. I loved my seafood. I loved all of it.
Same.
And then you just start seeing how, you know, they process it, what they put into it,
what it does to you.
You know. Now there's a big movement. Everybody going vegan and stuff, and you know, I'm not one to say. You know, and people have their own reasons. Right. You know, some people go vegan because of the animals. I love the animals, and it is a little cruel what they do to the animals, but that's not the reason why we went vegetarian. We went vegetarian because we didn't know what we were eating anymore.
And that's
You know,
I'm there.
they GMO, genetic modified organisms, have become a standard now. So now when we're eating chicken or when we're eating beef, if this is not real chicken or real beef, what is this?
Right.
And it just became too much of a mystery. And so we just say, you know what, let's try to cut back on that. But it's a decision I think any people should make when they're ready. Because you couldn't have told me to quit when I wasn't ready to quit.
Right.
You ain't gonna tell
for
me
sure.
to quit. I'm having my shrimp taco, I'm having my carne asada, I'm having all the food that I grew up eating. So, you know.
This is what did it for me. I did for all of January. I did no cooked food. I just went cold turkey. Like I don't even think I had bread. No cooked food, no baked food. I can't even explain all the way how I felt. The closest thing to being able to put it into words, I felt like a god.
Okay.
I had the satisfaction of being full, but was ready to run 9 games of basketball. Like, I smelled better. Like, everything, even when I went to the bathroom, it was literally odorless. Like waking up with no morning breath. Like it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, but for like 3 days, I didn't have to use deodorant. It was crazy. Like I felt amazing. I'm already a happy individual. But I don't know. It just I felt so good that might be a part of the reason why certain things started gravitating towards me. 10 minutes, okay. But it's like you said, try it when you're ready.
Try when you're ready.
You know, my girl, she was mad at me because like now you can't eat anything that I cook. But like my skinny self, the last thing I need to be doing is losing weight. I lost 5 pounds, but it was a good 5 pounds. It was bad weight is gone. You know, the only reason why I started lifting back, like, because I'm lifting again, but people were saying like, man, you look like you lost weight. I'm like, I guess I did lose weight. But I felt amazing. I still feel amazing. I mean, I had my little cheat meal last night, and I felt horrible this morning. My face was all clogged up. I sounded all sinusy. You know, like I didn't feel good at all. Like my body was like all sticky. The food comes out of your pores. Like, you know, like I've been learning that just like we go to the bathroom, each cell is still a living organism. That living organism is going to the bathroom. It's coming out through your sweat. It's coming out through your earwax. It's coming out from your eyes, your nose. You know, it's I like it. I love it.
You know, in the nation, we're taught to eat 1 meal a day. And that's what throws people off, threw us off. 1 meal a day. And
I've done that before.
At the beginning, you know, you lose a lot of weight, but then you back up the weight. And the reason why is because our body is a machine.
Yeah.
If we just leave it alone, it's like it'll give us an automatic tune-up. But if you know, we're talking about all the lies being dispelled, they taught us to eat 3 times a day. Well, if it takes 6 to 8 hours to process meat, so we wake up, we have our bacon or sausage, whatever, go to lunch, we have our little turkey sandwich, whatever, then we go to dinner, have, you know, whatever we eat for dinner. We're never giving our stomach a chance to take a break. So it's like, imagine getting in your car and going on the engine and going zzz.
Right.
We never
stress it out.
The foot off the gas. So the whole idea with the eating 1 time a day is giving the body time to do what it needs to do to break down all of the food. And now there's a little bit of a flexibility of what you eat because the body will break it down. But if you're constantly feeding yourself all different times during the day, you're not giving your stomach a chance to break down the food. Have you ever looked at the stomach? The stomach is only
it's not
so
that big.
Yeah, it's a very little thing. They did a research. They're like the average person. This is disgusting too. This is the average person at the end of the year has over like 300 meals stuck in like their veins, waiting to get processed to come out of them.
What?
And this is what causes diseases and sickness, because
Right.
all that toxins and stuff just sits in our body waiting to get flushed out. But again, the stomach can only produce and pump and break down the food so much. So that's one of the things that we're taught in the nation is now you gradually build up to it. First you go to two times a day, and then you go to 1 time a day, to the point where when you really mastered it, you eat once every other day.
Right.
And they said if you can do that, you'll never be sick again.
I watched the guy. He said he doesn't even eat, and he's all cut up. He's like, I don't eat. He's like, I've gone to, yeah. He's like, he hasn't eaten in like 2 years, man. He's like, I haven't had a meal, and he's just cut up. He's like, I get all my vitamins from the sun.
Oh wow.
I was like, what? African dude, hair long and super long hair.
Wow.
It's crazy. Dang it, we just got the signal. We only got a few minutes left. If y'all notice, I'm not at my house. I drove all the way back to Orange County to come kick it with my family and do this. What I like to do, I like to give an honorary shout out every podcast. This is your episode, but my heart's too big and I gotta just spread love. And I think it's only appropriate that the honorary shout out of today's podcast, it gotta be MC Cool Sphere, man.
Yes, sir.
MC Cool Spirit, man. You know I'm a fan, man.
Yes,
I'm a fan. I was listening to some of his tracks. I saw featuring Verbal Threat. I was like, yeah, he got a little solo project, man. I like it.
Yes, sir.
So Cool Spirit, you know you're loved. This family over here, and maybe one day, you got a little bit more money than me. You fly me out to Houston, and we get the pod cracking, man.
Yes, sir.
This
been great, man.
Yeah, I love it. This is fun.
Keep at it.
Uncle Dave, man, you are still probably forever will be one of my biggest mentors, influences.
Thank you.
Just one of the dopest male figures. Like, again, just I was trying to go on y'all dates, man. Like,
man.
I was beating myself up on the way over here because I still have I have CDs that I haven't even opened yet, because when you make that NFT, I'm about to we're cashing out.
Yes, sir.
Go get y'all shirts, y'all. Go get y'all Verbal Threat shirts. You want to plug yourself?
Yeah, we got some merch on our IG, Verbal Threat IG, so you can check us out on our Verbal Threat IG. We got hoodies, t-shirts. Cool Sphere be cooking up a lot of different surprises. Sometimes I go on there, I'm like, hey, you didn't send me that. Well, I need that. So yeah, go on IG and check out IG. We got some merchandise on there. But for the most part, man, this has been a pleasure, man. We've been talking about it for a while. We're gonna do it.
I know I work every day. I saw a day off and was like, oh, I'm going to Uncle Dave's house.
So this is it. I appreciate you having me.
Of course.
Appreciate you having me.
Ghost Strip Reality Check.
Come on.
I don't look. Just give that one a shot. Reality Check. He's got 2.6 million views on YouTube. Go watch it. Everybody else watched it. Why? Don't be last at the party.
Come on.
Do not be last at the party. Reality Check. DJ Premier. This might be the first time I have 2 honorary shout outs, man. DJ Premier. I want to thank you, man. I want to thank you for giving my people a shot. I'm glad you saw what everybody else already saw. And I'm gonna end it the way I normally end it. Real quick though, y'all know how I get down. Respect over everything, and you can't fall if you don't trip.
Come on. Peace.
Just push